in the Hindu lotus-legged, pose and so forth in his home. I wonder if it was by accident that the first Apple computer that went on sale, sold for, they put the retail price of $666. The first Apple computer. Quite fascinating. Well, let me tell you about an organization, a company that is going to be very much involved in implementing Project Lucid. It's a company called Lucid Technologies. Now, I must tell you, I do not know the executives of Lucid. These may be very fine men. I do not accuse them intentionally of any devil worship or anything else. And I don't want to start rumors to that effect. As a matter of fact, I want you to understand that occultism may be not by design, but by stupidity, is rampant in America today at the corporate level. It really is. So I'm not trying to take one corporation out and say this corporation is worse than all of these others. That's not true at all. I just want to give you an example, okay? And then you judge yourself the intent and the motivations of these people, because I do not know their hearts. I believe we should pray for them. But I'd like to tell you or talk to you about a company named Lucid Technologies. Now, AT&T recently, this last year, split off into 3 companies. And the old Bell Labs, which is one of the world's premier research and development groups, became Lucid, L-U-C-E-N-T. Now, the first thing was, one of the managers there, he's not real high level, but he's a manager, wrote me and contacted me and sent me some information about their new logo and about Lucid. He says, Tex, I'm convinced that something terrible has happened in our company. And that Lucid means L-U-C-E-N-T, or short for Lucifer's Enterprise. Well, we know that he's a kook, right? I mean, anybody who sees something like that, and Lucid has to be a kook. However, I did recall getting this article in USA Today, February 6, 1999, entitled, AT&T Names the Baby Lucid. It says that the word Lucid was chosen because AT&T hopes the name and logo, a red circle, will, quote, illuminate awareness. They want to illuminate awareness. Sort of an interesting type of wording there. This is the European newspaper, sort of the equivalent of USA Today. But this same ad has been in the Wall Street Journal, in the New York Times, and so forth. You can just see the logo there. It's a round, rough-edged circle, a fiery circle. That's their new logo. Now, folks, I've seen this many times before in all of my years of research into the occult. I wondered why they chose this. Maybe it was just by accident, inadvertent, I don't know. The fiery red circle, the ring, the fiery red ring. I remembered an old tune by old Johnny Cash. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burned, 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 the ring of fire. I think he was talking about hell. What do you think? Of course, he was talking about hell. Well, sure. I mean, that would hurt their public relations to have a logo or a symbol that resembles something like hell, wouldn't it? But then on the other hand, Generation Xers, maybe they're the ones that did this. You know, Generation Xers, the new generation, they like things that are cool. Maybe that's all it is. Well, I had seen this symbol before, and let me give you some samples of places that I had seen it. By the way, just last night a gentleman brought me this. This seems to be sort of that same circle. Now, this was red, but, you know, I have one of those cheap copiers that doesn't do color, so just use your imagination. By the way, before we talk about this, let me tell you what a guy gave me last night. He works at Lucid Technology. He says, Tex, you are right. And he says, but they're pushing this logo everywhere. He said, here's something. They just gave out to us, and they say this is like a sunscreen for your car. He said, you know, you take it out of the thing here and just undo it like that, and, you know, it comes out. And they're giving these to employees and say, hey, put this in your car. Let everybody know about Lucid and our new logo. And there it is. Okay. And here this is, of course. The gentleman gave this to me last night. And he said, Tex, read this. See what this says. Well, what it says is, it says this is the symbol of Zen, the Enso. It's believed to represent oneness and nirvana. Reproduced from the original scroll, the graceful Enso symbol was painted by Mugaku Bunkai in the 1800s. He served as head abbot of the Maisanji Zen Temple in Kyoto. Has something to do with Zen Buddhism? Oh, no. Not Lucid Technologies of AT&T. But then I had found this in Gnosis magazine, an occult magazine dated spring 96. And there seems to be a circle very much like that. And this was in red, too. And then I remembered this book that I had in my research library entitled The Tao, T-A-O, Tao of Leadership. Leadership Strategies for a New Age. And you know, that was red, too, on the cover. And by the way, this is published by Bantam's New Age Book Division. And then, of course, this symbol. The serpent biting its own tail. Also a circle. Satan's boast. He'll reign and rule forever. Never-ending cycle or circle. By the way, they have a TV series, I guess now they're going to have called Millennium. And now you know what that symbol stands for among Satan worshipers and the occult. Well, now, I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I do have an inquiring mind, as you know. And just about that time, I received a press release from Lucid. And they bragged about their newest software innovation. They say this is the greatest software invention or innovation ever in history. And you know, they have the scientists to pull that off. I mean, they have, prize winners, you'd be amazed at what they've got, scholars. It's a new software that can link all the computers together. And the software is called, they've given it a name called Inferno. Inferno. In my Flashpoint newsletter, October, you can call our office and get this issue if we don't have it back there on the table. I have a picture of the press release in Inferno, and you can see it sort of rough-edged, and there's sulfurous, boiling smoke coming out of the name Inferno. What corporation would name its new software innovation Inferno? And then I read the press release, and it said that, you know, every software package has what they call architecture or communications protocols, you know, how it's put together and how it works. And by the way, this is explained in my book, Project Lucid. Now, interestingly enough, this press release said that this new Inferno software operating system has communications protocols and architecture called Limbo and Styx, S-T-Y-X. Now, limbo is a word sort of like purgatory, you know, a compartment of